What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video guys, me going over Demon King Meliodas versus Queen Elizabeth and which character is actually the better festival that we actually got for November/December fest. So let's hop into the video guys and let's discuss. Before we actually hop into the video, make sure to subscribe to your boy Amazing. We are on the road to the 50,000 subscribers. If you guys haven't hit that sub button already, man, what are you guys doing? Definitely make sure to hit it. And with that out of the way guys, let's discuss the Queen Elizabeth and Demon King Meliodas kind of discussion here. And I wanted to discuss both these characters because on my latest video here, which I'll show you guys, the top 5 best PvP teams in the game, I know I had a few people that actually suggested Amazing. I do think that the Goddess team is better than the Sins team right now, and you know, that's definitely a fair argument. And does that come down to Queen Elizabeth being as good as she is, or is it that Demon King Melly is actually a better unit and Queen Elizabeth is carried by her team? Let's find out in this video guys as we discuss these two characters and talk about both their kits, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts on who I think is the better character overall. Alright, so guys, let's start with Queen Elizabeth since she was the November festival of 2023. Let's actually go over her kit here and we'll discuss what she's able to do. So for her passive here, she's going to have applying the intervention of light on enemies for 2 turns at the start of the battle. It increases all stats of the hero by 7% for each applicable ally participating in the battle. And in addition, the hero gains Goddess Wrath when an applicable ally uses an attack skill. And if the hero uses a single target attack skill at max stacks of Goddess Wrath, it removes stances from the target and applies stun for 1 turn. Then all Goddess Wrath stacks are removed. Now for the actual effects themselves, the intervention of light is 10% attack related lower, removing 1 orb from the target's ultimate move gauge when inflicting damage on an enemy with 3 or more ultimate move gauge as well, which is very strong because it means that Elizabeth has gauge reduction for the first 2 turns, right, going first. And then the applicable allies are going to be goddesses, humans, and the 7 Deadly Sins characters. And then the Goddess Wrath stacks are going to be 6% attack related stats up to 4 times, guys. So that's going to be Queen Elizabeth's passive. Now moving on to her skills here, she has Punishment Single Target, which is going to be triple the Pierce Rate increase, and then 20% damage dealt for every Goddess Wrath on self. This is going to scale from 200% all the way to the 500%. For Elizabeth's AoE skill here guys, she's going to inflict Fury damage equal to 120% of attack on all enemies. Fury is 1% additional damage for every percent of remaining HP on self, and you get 50% damage dealt when Goddess Wrath is at his max stacks. And this obviously scales from the 120 to the 180 to the 300% of attack. Alright guys, now moving on to the most controversial thing of Queen Elizabeth, and I think the strongest part of her kit. Depending on the dupe level, you have a revive with this character, and the revive actually does last longer based on the dupes. So let's actually talk about it. So Wall of Light right here increases the hero's attack related stats by 50% for 2 turns, inflicts damage equal to 750% of attack on enemies, then applies Intervention of Light for 2 turns. So it actually reapplies Intervention of Light. This attack does not have any effect on it, so it's just that the hero gains 50% attack related, but it's inflicting 750 damage of attack. There's no effect else on it, guys, so bear that in mind, right, for the damage on the ultimate itself. But that's not really the important thing, right? The important thing is if the hero is participating in the battle and there are 2 or more allies surviving at the end of the ally's turn, the ally with the lowest remaining HP percentage receives Goddess Protection, and allies without Goddess Protection has their damage taken decreased by 20% for 1 turn. And this is going to reapply for up to 10 turns, guys, which is very broken, right? The fact that at 6 out of 6 Queen Elizabeth is able to give you a 10 turn revive for any of your characters that are the lowest HP percentage, that is very, very strong. And then for the Goddess Protection here, the hero revives with the same amount of HP as they had before dying, and it does not revive when dying from reflected damage. So pretty much she has Goddess's Revive, the original blue one, but on any character that has the lowest remaining percentage of HP, and it always applies for up to 10 turns, guys. It's just a very broken ultimate right there, and might be why Queen Elizabeth is the technically better character, but we're gonna have to talk about that, right? We'll see if she's actually the better character overall. Now moving on to Demon King Meliodas. He is the character that released and brought the UR based rarity, guys. He's the first character to release with UR based rarity. He's also the first festival we've had in a while where they actually went back from the light and dark attributes. So Queen Elizabeth is actually a light attribute, whereas Meli is a speed attribute character, so a blue character. For Meliodas' kit, guys, for his passive here, he's going to have applies Protection of the Demon King on self at the start of the battle, and when an applicable ally uses an attack skill, the target receives 1 seed at the end effect up to 3. When the hero uses a skill on an enemy at max stacks, the target stances are removed and the hero gains 1 dark energy. In addition, the hero's basic stats are increased by 7% for every applicable ally participating in the battle, and when the hero's dark energy reaches 4 stacks, the hero removes all of them and gains all creation. Now for the actual buffs themselves, Protection of the Demon King removes 1 debuff from each ally at the start of the ally's turn, and the hero gains dark energy equal to the number of debuffs removed. And then C to the end here is going to be defense related stats minus 10%, and it is removed when you have 3 of them, right? And then the dark energy is going to be 10% increased defense related stats for the ally, right? For Meliodas himself. And then all creation here is going to be 50% attack related stats. All debuffs are removed from self, and own skill rank increases removed after using an attack skill. And then the applicable allies are going to be the demons or the 7 deadly sins characters. And then moving on to his attack skills here, guys, he does extinction, which is going to be 200% of attack on 1 enemy. Extinction is ×2 critical damage and ×2 critical chance when all creation is active as well. So you actually do pretty much guaranteed crit when you have all creation, and you have the double crit damage, which is very strong. So 200% of attack, 300, and then 500. And moving on to his second skill here, guys, he has the Doom effect. So inflicts Doom damage equal to 120% of attack on all enemies. Doom is going to be ×2 critical chance, and then you actually gain 20% damage dealt for every C to the end on the enemies. This actually does scale up from the 120 all the way to the 300% of attack right there, guys. And then moving on to Meliodas' ult here, guys. This one is a lot less controversial than Queen Liz, and it doesn't do as much as you'd think, right? So for her ultimate here, this is at 3 to 6, so this will obviously depend on your ultimate move level of this character, but it increases all the hero's stats by 15%, then applies 1 C to the end effect and inflicts Doom damage equal to 380% of attack on all enemies. Doom is going to be ×2 critical chance and 20% damage dealt for every C to the end effect on the enemies, guys. And then for the actual like passive part of his ultimate, if the hero is participating in the battle, the associated hero's commandment activates. So Meli actually allows commandments to be used through his link. You can run a commandment link on Meli and it'll actually work in the battle. And then if the hero has protection of the Demon King, their critical defense increases by 12%, and their damage taken from single target attacks decreases by 7%. So it's not like anything super crazy, guys, in terms of like, you know, the passive part that Meli has. Now, is that going to be, you know, is that going to make Meli a better character overall than Queen Elizabeth? Let's talk about that now. Like, which character overall is the better character? Alright, guys, so my thoughts on both the characters here for who I actually think is going to be the better character, it really depends on what team you value more in PvP right now, right? If we look at the Goddess team, Queen Elizabeth did completely change the Goddess team from being an irrelevant team to being one of the most strongest teams in PvP. You know, when she actually released, she made it so that the Goddess team was the strongest team in the meta at the time, in my opinion, and I think was still to this day could be argued the strongest team in PvP. You know, Queen Elizabeth having the stun, you know, she has the Goddess Wrath, the intervention of light to, you know, stop alt rush teams, right? It's just a very like nice effect, you know, like she has a lot going for herself. And you know, remember that Queen Elizabeth is increasing her all stats. She gets a ton of basic stats on her team. She has defense related from Tristan, right? It's just a very strong character, and I think Queen Elizabeth on the Goddess team is really hard to argue it, but you could say that Goddess team is better right now than the Sins team. I've heard people argue it, and I think it's true, like in some scenarios, right? Depending on how the Sins team plays, Goddess team seems like a pretty easy win against that team, right? Because you got a lot working with the team. You know, you have Queen Liz, you have Margaret, you have Mael, right? They all do really good things for the team, and they're strong. So now, does that make Queen Elizabeth a better character overall than Demon King Meliodas? I don't think so. I think Demon King Meliodas is a overall better character, and the reason why is because mainly the fact that Meli is used across anything in the game, right? In PvP right now, you could argue that he is the strongest character in PvP. Would I say he's the strongest? I would say so. And then look at the PvE side of the game, right? You know, he's really good in a lot of the other PvE content too. So yeah, the reason why I say Demon King Meli specifically is the strongest one of the two is because he works really well to make the Sins team as strong as it is, right? Before Meli actually released, Sins team was okay. Like, you had Transcendent Bond, you know, you had the Queen Diane set up, but now with Demon King Meli, like, when you run the team, it is very, very strong, guys, going against a lot of other teams. The only team that Meli really struggles against is the Goddess team. Like, that's the one team that really does shake up you know, the wins for Meli, and could maybe, you know, stop that character from winning the match. So I do think right now that the Goddess team overall could be argued to be better, but I think that honestly the Sins team is just the better team against most meta you know, fights, right? Like, if you run Sins team, you beat the Unknown team, you beat the opposing demon teams, you beat you know, human variants, you can beat Goddess variants too, and I think that makes them really really strong. The thing is with the Goddess team right now, I feel like Demon team still has a chance of beating this team, right? Because Demons actually do build up a lot of basic stats, and even though you can't stat lower the Goddess team, if Meli gets enough basic stat build up from the Demons when you're running Essa, you know, Demon King, like they can actually do work, you know, and they're very strong. So honestly, what it really comes down to, guys, at the end of the day, is which team you value more, right? And in my opinion, I do value the Sins team a little bit better in PvP, and so because of that, I actually will give the better character slot to Demon King Meli. But then again, Queen Eliz, guys, is very, very strong. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think that Queen Liz is actually a better character than Demon King Meli, or do you guys think Meli's better than Queen Liz? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, because that's, you know, it's kind of a hard topic to think about, right? Like Queen Liz, for what she did for the Goddess team, made them as viable as they are, and Demon King Meli did the same for Sins. So, you know, let me know what you guys think, man. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say in the comments, because I honestly think that right now it's really like, you know, if I had to like rank them like on like a scale of like 1 to like 10, like Meli would be like 10, and then Liz is like 9.5, guys. Like it's very, very close, you know? Like if I had to like differentiate, it's so close. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below for the characters here, Queen Elizabeth or Demon King Meli. Who do you guys think is better? And we'll kind of discuss that in the comment section below. So I hope you guys do enjoy the video. Take care, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.